Let's go to Mayor Bloomberg's defense of his moves in evicting Occupy Wall Street. What you're about to hear from Mayor Bloomberg is a string of lies. Now, understand as we go into this, why is Mayor Bloomberg shutting down Occupy Wall Street? And this never gets talked about in the press, even though it's the most obvious thing in the world. Mayor Bloomberg is a billionaire right now, thanks to Wall Street. That's his product. His product, when he was an entrepreneur and set up his own company, was not selling apples or selling oranges or selling widgets. It was selling a Bloomberg terminal to Wall Street. That is his entire clientele. That's how he made all of his money and continues to this day to make all that money from Wall Street. So weird how Mayor Bloomberg has decided, hey, you know what? I should evict Occupy Wall Street. That's bothering my friends and clients down in Wall Street. Weird how that works. So, but let's go to his excuses. He says that the Zuccotti Park was also for passive recreation. I love this.
The law that created Zuccotti Park required that it be open for the public to enjoy for passive recreation 24 hours a day. Ever since the occupation began, that law has not been complied with, as the park has been taken over by protesters, making it unavailable to anyone else.
I love that excuse. That's my favorite. No, you can't be active in this park. If you're choosing to exercise your First Amendment rights actively, no, that's not American. If you were passive, if you're a sheep and you go in the park and you graze there like, oh, what does Mayor Bloomberg tell me to do? Then you're fine. This is for passive usage, not for active usage. Didn't you read that part of the First Amendment that says you have the right to speech and to free press and to redress of your grievances and protests, but only if you do it passively and go, oh, okay, Mayor Bloomberg. What a joke that was. Okay, and now let's go to a second excuse.
From the beginning, I've said that the city has two principal goals: guaranteeing public health and safety and guaranteeing the protesters' First Amendment rights. But when those two goals clash, the health and safety of the public and our first responders must be the priority.
Yet another lie. What health and safety problems? You're telling me you're going to do this and this press-savvy mayor is going to come on here, not cite any examples. Where's the fire hazard? Cite an example. Where's the violence? Where's the health problems? Cite an example. He doesn't have a single example. Comes out there and says, oh, ooh, boy, we were really concerned about that. What is it? What are we making up? Fire hazard? Yes, fire hazard. Safety and health? Oh, absolutely. That's why we had to shut down First Amendment protests. Otherwise, we love the First Amendment. It's just, oh, gosh darn it, that water, no, fire hazard. Yeah, that's our problem. Here we go again.
No right is absolute, and with every right comes responsibility. The First Amendment gives every New Yorker the right to speak out, but it does not give anyone the right to sleep in a park or otherwise take it over to the exclusion of others, nor does it permit anyone in our society to live outside the law.
Oh, I see. So first of all, are you outside the law when you take away their First Amendment rights? No, only they are, right? So that's an interesting way of framing it. Second of all, I love that part in the First Amendment that I apparently missed. You have the right to freedom of speech as long as you don't bring a tent or a sleeping bag or tarp. It's probably in there, but I didn't see it. It's like, oh, along with rights comes responsibilities. The responsibility for what? So for what? To make sure that you don't bother Wall Street? There's no excuse here. This is just one lie after another to say to his clients, am I doing a good enough job? Can I continue to get your money while I pretend to be the mayor of New York and actually care about all the citizens of New York, while in fact my whole job is to serve you, Wall Street. I am here for your beck and call. This is a guy who actually made the terrible mistake of once respecting. No more, that's for sure. The nonsense continues.
We have an obligation to enforce the laws today, to make sure that everybody has access to the park so everybody can protest. That's the First Amendment, and it's number one on our minds.
Oh, I see. Look at George Orwell Bloomberg here. He cares about the First Amendment. That's why he's shutting down their protests and the right to speak so that other people can come by passively to the park and not use the First Amendment or use their First Amendment rights to not say anything. Have you ever heard of a dumber argument or a more obvious lie in your life? Well, at lunchtime, some guys used to come and not protest and not use their First Amendment rights, so I need to shut down your First Amendment rights so I can protect their First Amendment rights to eat a ham sandwich. Grotesque. One more.
We are now ready to reopen the park, but understand that there is a court order, which we have not yet actually received, enjoining us from enforcing Brookfield's rules, and so the park will remain closed until we can clarify that situation. But I want to stress that our intention was to reopen the park and to let people go in and express their First Amendment rights to protest or their First Amendment rights to just peacefully enjoy the park.
Yeah, Mayor Orwell makes a great point here. Originally, the judge says, I'm restraining you from kicking them out. You were wrong, okay? So Mayor Bloomberg looks at that and goes, oh, I see what you're saying, so I shouldn't allow them back in the park. The judge is like, no, I'm saying the exact opposite. You have to allow them back in the park. Mayor Bloomberg, during his press conference that you just saw, says, well, obviously that means I can't allow them back in the park until I figure out what the judge is saying. Can you read? Do you have trouble reading? Are you illiterate? Originally the judge said, you must allow them back in. He said, well, because of that, I cannot allow them back in because there's a ruling. Because it isn't about what the first judge said or what the second judge said. It isn't about the First Amendment. It isn't about any of that. It's about how can Mayor Bloomberg make more money off of Wall Street. He's not your mayor. He's the mayor of Wall Street. He's the mayor of the banks that he works for.